I am that I am. Slave boy turned grand ascended master. Adamus Saint-Germain. Katumi's jealous about that. Words hardly seem appropriate at this grand celebration that Chambre has put on. What could be perceived by others as the silence, but yet is so filled with new energy, says it all. The smiles on your faces over these past few days says it all. The words that have come through the other presenters and speakers says it all. The tones, the sounds that have come from the musicians conveys the entire message. Here we are. In this new energy, in this new consciousness. And this is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Transformations that you're not even aware of right now have already occurred within you. Transformations are taking place all across the world. Perhaps it hasn't been in your headlines today, but it will be in the days to come. Somewhere in the world right now, in a laboratory, a technician, a scientist working on his own, is looking into the microscope and seeing something that he has never seen before. He doesn't understand it. His mind is racing to try to quantify it and to try to measure it and to try to look to something in the past that makes it understandable, but nothing is working, and he's frustrated. He's anxious. He's not sure of himself. He's looking into the microscope right now, and you can join him. What is that he is seeing? It has never been seen before. A particle of new energy that has moved from the outer realms into this realm of humanity. And that new energy holds the key for so many of the hopes and the aspirations and the dreams of humanity. Somewhere, sitting out in a field on a beautiful sunny day much like this, is a doctor who's been working on the challenges of cancer for years and years and years. He is frustrated by this disease that is so prevalent in humanity right now. He is distressed because he has seen thousands of patients who've had this thing called cancer. And it has taken their happiness and their joy and their life. And in this moment, as we talk right now, in his sadness and in his frustration and loss of hope, he lets go. He says, no more. And in that opening of allowing, there's a burst of energy in his imagination. He goes into a lucid state, like many of you have gone into before. And in that lucid state, he imagines the very cause of cancer and the very cure for cancer. And in these months and years to come, this researcher, doctor, will share his dreams and imaginations with others who are willing to listen, and they will begin doing their research. And they will come to understand what this thing of cancer is all about. In a hospital room somewhere right now, A mother has just given birth to a child by choice. No longer some anonymous or random act of a soul being coming to earth, but the mother has chosen in her heart a long time ago. But because of an energy shift that has taken place, this choice now becomes a reality. And at this very moment, the doctor is delivering a very precious child, a child who has also chosen to be with that mother. And it marks the beginning of the time when it is not just random. It is not just by what you would call an accident. It is by choice, birthing by choice. Somewhere in the other realms, not of earth, but in the near-earth, non-physical realms, in this very moment, someone that many of you know, many someones that many of you know, who have been trapped in the near realms, wandering aimlessly, filled with sorrow and darkness and anguish, have suddenly seen the face of the angels who have always been there to guide them to the bridge of flowers. But they have not been able to see them up to now. Something shifted that has allowed them now to release their bonds of earth and karma and sorrow and now move to the bridge of flowers. And some of you who have had ones who have departed and knew that they were lingering and didn't feel you could help them at all, are feeling their presence moving out now, released from the old cycles. Somewhere on earth right now in this very moment are two leaders of countries that have been battling with each other for a long time, long time, and have been causing sadness and darkness, not just in their countries, but all over the world. And simultaneously, because these two leaders are linked by their angelic families, these two leaders simultaneously realize that by war, you cannot move forward. By war, you conquer nothing. With bullets and rockets and knives and bombs, you are only destroying yourself. You are only holding yourself in a type of prison and bondage. And these two leaders at this very moment are scratching their heads, wondering where this thought just came from. They feel it. They're not just thinking it, they know it. They can see the picture of harmony and peace. And in this moment, both leaders are thinking to themselves, but will I appear to be a coward if I share this with my staff? Will I appear to be weak if I call up my enemy and say, "Dear God, I forgot to love you and all of your people"? And that world leader, both of them right now are contemplating this as we speak. For they understand the value of compassion and love and honoring each and every other human being. Somewhere in the world right now, there is a scientist working on her computer screen. She's been trying to find the answers to this thing that you call the energy crisis on Earth, and it is a crisis. For the fuel supplies that you have been relying on are running short. She knows it. She doesn't have to debate about this thing called the greenhouse effect. She doesn't have to wonder about statistics on the availability of oil for the earth in the next 20 and 30 years. She knows that it is running out. She's been working on this problem for quite a while, frustrated, feeling also that there is no hope. But as we sit here right now, something seems to flicker on her computer screen, something that she'd never noticed before either. The answer has been sitting right there in front of her this whole time. She suddenly realizes the potential of water on earth to fuel the needs of humanity in this moment. She realizes. She laughs, says it couldn't be true. It is too simple. It couldn't be true. And in the coming hours and days, she's going to run her models and run her numbers again. She's going to get frustrated because she's still using the old energy formulas for trying to figure it out. But the seed was planted. She knows that the answer is there and it will come back to her again. It may be years before it is practical, before humans on Earth find this new source of energy to drive their engines, to drive their cars, to light their homes. But it is there right now. Somewhere on Earth right now is a psychologist who is very depressed, as psychologists can get. Sorry. Because they deal with the darkness of humanity. They deal with the confusion, and it flows to them. They feel it. And this psychologist has also lost hope, thinking perhaps the only way to treat some of these conditions on earth is to give the patients medications to calm them down. The psychologist has been considering getting out of the business, but in a daydream state at this very moment right now, something comes over the psychologist. She realizes what the answer is. But could it be that simple, she says. She looks at the books lining the bookshelves in her office. Hundreds and hundreds of volumes by very learned authors talking about the nature of the mental balance of humanity. Could the answer that she just got be so simple, profoundly simple, that it could help humans who choose to rebalance themselves all across the world in this very moment? There are little sparkles of consciousness floating down like little angels down to those who have been working on some of these issues and problems, floating down into their consciousness as a bubble of potential. It didn't seem to be there just a few days ago, but makes its presence known now. The seeds of new energy, the seeds of new consciousness have been planted. You're going to see the evidence of this in days and weeks and years to come. As Tobias said the other night, perhaps nobody else in the whole world understood what was going on September 18th. Nobody saw the very first old energy train pull into the station, and then a group of humans get on board the Quantum Leap Express. But it happened. All over the world right now, changes and all the potential of changes are taking place. A quantum leap, the new consciousness is here. Oh, mind you, if you didn't already feel it, there were forces of duality. Let's not call them light or dark. let's just call them old energy, that did not want this to happen. There was a continual pressure, a continual barrage of energy on each and every one of you for several years now. And it built up more pressure and more momentum for several months. You know, so many of you trying to get here encountered difficulties. You said to yourself, what is Spirit trying to tell me? Maybe I shouldn't be there. It was just the resistance of the old energy to change. The resistance of the old energy knowing its time had come. And like any other energy, it doesn't want to die. But like any other energy, it's always reborn in a new way. There was a tremendous amount of pressure, resistance to this whole event, but it occurred anyway. And if you could just close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath, you'll be able to see or to feel or to intuit all of these sparkles of new consciousness that are flowing from the other realms and flowing from this very space right here to everyone who has an issue, a question, a problem, to those who are trying to bring peace to this world, to those who are trying to solve the questions of the energy crisis, to those who are trying to heal the body and the mind. Those sparkles of new consciousness are going out to those who have been priests and nuns and rabbis for many, many years, if not many lifetimes, who have been struggling with the issue of God and their relationship to God. The ones who have been depressed and distorted, the ones who have been affected by sexual energy virus, which is so prolific in the religious community. The sparkles of new energy consciousness are flowing out to them, surrounding and embracing them right now, ready and available to go to work in their lives if they choose to have a new understanding of God. A God that doesn't have to maintain a source of power on earth. A God that is not manipulated by men and women on earth. A God that is not philosophy. A God that is not control. And more than anything, a God that is not separate and removed from the very humans who walk the face of the earth, but who is the human walking on the face of the earth. Take a deep breath right now and allow yourself to feel the sparkles of new energy consciousness going out to those who are working on the software programs that you're going to see a year from now and 5 years from now that will make human living easier and more efficient. The sparkles of new energy that are going out to the crops, to the trees, to the plants. They have been attended up to now by the divas and the nature elements who have been helping to maintain the balance of these energies on earth. And now the fairies, the divas, the nature elements, they can start releasing from earth. They can let go of the job they've been doing because now there is something that is called the new consciousness that works directly with Gaia without the intermediaries, and the honeybees fly off at the same time. Take a deep breath. Oh, and open that imagination of yours that has been trapped like my crystal prison. And through the imagination, feel the sparkles of new energy consciousness that are flowing all around the world right now, that are literally going to change over a period of time, things like the magnetics of Earth, the gravitational force of Earth, adjusting itself to the new consciousness. Can you imagine having this thing called gravity to keep things in place, but not having it be such a detriment to your physical body? That is coming. Gravity itself is going to change. Doesn't mean that all of a sudden objects are going to start floating off. It means a new way to integrate yourself with this thing called gravity and the electromagnetics of Earth. Watch the headlines, watch the news. Some of you have walked away from that, but go back now. Watch. Read between the lines. Watch what is happening. Read the science journals, the daily papers, even some of the gossip sheets. Because you're going to be seeing evidence daily of the changes that are coming over Earth right now. Don't get impatient. Change happens in its own very appropriate time. But the changes will happen. You, each one of you, have been a living example of what the changes of Earth itself are going to look like. Your changes in consciousness and the struggles that you have had to get there. The Earth is going to go through many of the same things because change by its very nature has been difficult up to now. There are going to be forces, groups, governments, companies that resist the change because it means giving up the old way. It means giving up power or money. It means giving up comfort. So some are going to resist the changes. Can you imagine when these new energy sources, and there will be several, there will be water, there will be a type of crudely what we would call a light energy, but not from the sun. There will be a type of gravitational energy that comes into play. When these new energy sources make their way out of the R&D into the network of human consciousness, it will require changes, retooling of plants, changing ways people do things, changing distribution methods, and more than anything, changing the balance of power and money on Earth so it is more equally distributed rather than held in a few places. Don't be surprised when you read the headlines to also read about the conflict, to read about one side trying to hold on, but in this new energy, they cannot. They cannot. The new energy is moving right now. It has a consciousness that directly corresponds to the consciousness of I. Not I, Saint-Germain, but the I we will talk about in a moment. Therefore, it will continue to move, continue to flow, and people all across the world will need to hear the simple words, it's working. It's working. You see, there's going to be a tendency for many to get into drama and panic. Because the moment change begins to occur, many hold on even tighter. And the tighter they hold on, the more the change has to pull from them. There are many who will be angry. Many who are going to claim that it's the end of the world, but it is just the beginning. Many who cannot handle this thing we call new consciousness and will choose to leave the earth right now, to go to the other side, but to return again, refreshed and renewed, with an understanding that it is a new era for humanity. Oh, and not just for humanity. It's a new era in the other realms as well. You see, as goes earth, so goes the heavens. When we reached the quantum leap the other day, it wasn't just a group of Shambra in Taos, New Mexico, and other choice spots around the world who were celebrating this event, this historic, unprecedented event. There were angels in the other realms who were dancing and celebrating, who were rejoicing, who were being set free by energies that have had them in prisons and held them in bondage for a long time. There was a shift back in your spiritual families, the family of your origins, because they felt this quantum leap. They felt and have felt for a while that they had lost their family member, you, the one who came to Earth to work through this thing called the energy impasse. When you pass through this corridor into the quantum leap, new energy, they felt it. It was like the communication was reestablished with them, and they knew you made it, and they rejoiced as well. There have been dimensions that have been trapped, dimensions that have collapsed on themselves, and all of the angelic beings who are within those dimensions. And a few days ago, at the moment of the quantum leap, the energy started moving again. And in this moment, somewhere in the realms, there are angelic beings who are freed again. It is unprecedented. It is of proportions that are difficult to even fathom right now, but it has begun. It is not a forced type of event. It is potentials that flow out into the world, potentials that were not available ever up to now, but now they are. But there are enough humans on Earth right now with a high enough type of consciousness that are accepting the potentials, accepting the change and the new era of humanity. So the change is in effect right now. So Shambra, you're the bold ones, you're the leaders, you're the ones who gave yourself a commitment, whether it was last lifetime, 10 lifetimes ago, or 100. A commitment that I will be here for the quantum leap. I will be here to set this spark of new consciousness onto the earth. I will be here on the earth then to stand behind the short wall, not to get involved in the dramas and the conflict, but rather to enjoy and to celebrate the changes that are coming over humanity. And there will be many, many. I have a few words to you today on a personal level. The changes are here. Understand that. You don't have to hope for them anymore. You don't have to dream about them anymore. They are here. But it will cause change and stress for many. Don't get caught in the drama. Don't get caught in the conspiracies. Don't get caught in the end of the world scenarios, because you know better than that. It is the beginning. They are going to look to you to be the leaders of consciousness. Whether it is through books you write, companies you start, counseling and healing centers that you open, they are going to be looking to you. They don't want you to get trapped in the drama, even though they're going to try to pull you into it. They don't want you to get caught in the old energy. They want you to help lead them out of it. In this new energy that you are in this new consciousness, the I becomes most important. Kuthumi talked about that yesterday. In the beginning, there was the consciousness of I. What Tobias calls the first circle back home. It was the I consciousness. In the middle, especially in your times here on earth, it was about the we consciousness. The groups, the families, the countries, the companies. Take a look around you. Everything is about groups. Churches, fraternities, groups. Everything was about the discovery of the we, the collective, the together. Because through that you could eventually come to the next era. And as the era that you have just entered into, the era of I. It is you. Kuthumi talked about yesterday. What's missing? You. What's missing? The human in their life. What was missing? The sacred importance of you. In the we consciousness, you were taught not to think about self, but to think about all. It was part of the learning of the angels and the humans. It was taught that it is not proper to talk well of yourself, to think of yourself first, to put yourself first and foremost and in the center of anything. But now you transcend from being children of God to being adults of God. And as an adult, God, you understand the sacred importance of I. Without the I, things don't shift and change. Without the I, you don't have the discoveries and the breakthroughs. Without the I, you don't have all of the resources of old and new energy coming in to create with you, to help you manifest your highest level of dreams. You come into the era of I, where it is about taking care of yourself, about feeling into yourself, about knowing yourself, about putting yourself in the center. For when you are in the center of anything, including a void, when you are in the center of this new physics, even though it may appear to be nothing but a vacuum, the moment you put yourself there, creation happens. Right now, you're sitting in a type of empty, yet full energy in this room. There seems to be nothing, but there is everything. The moment you put yourself here in this I moment, everything starts happening. We're in the era now of I, and it is time to shed some of the old hypnotic beliefs that it's about everything else. Give up the self. Be of service to everyone else. Do everything for everyone else to earn your way back to heaven. We're beyond that. It is about you. Put yourself in the center of your reality. It is the energy of Yoham, I, the presence of God, not just in the moment or in the now, but in the reality, in the space, in the consciousness. When your I am presence allows itself to be in this conscious presence, this conscious moment, anything can happen. This is where what others will call miracles will take place. But you'll understand there is no such thing as a miracle. It's all about the I in the present conscious moment. I am. Shambra, I invite you to do something that could be a bit difficult, it could be a bit challenging, but most rewarding. before you leave this room today, indeed, I invite you to be I, to be your I consciousness. Now, what does that mean? It means letting go of something that has been near and dear to you for a long time. Something that has gotten so close and personal, you don't even see it or realize it. But I look out upon this group of incredible masters, and I see something that its time has come. It's time to let it go. Because of your love and because of your service, you have been carrying the issues of humanity deep within you. Your bodies and your minds and your everyday life. You've been acting out the dramas of others, the issues of others. You've been trying to resolve them. You've been trying to work through their issues in order to assist and to serve them, and to a degree it has helped. But in this I energy that we are now in, it is time to let that go. That disease is not yours. That conflict in your head is not yours. That sadness is not yours. That depression is not yours. That lack of abundance does not belong to you. And you claim that it does. You claim that it's yours. It's some punishment. It's some imbalance. It's some imperfection, and it's not. You've dressed yourself in the clothing of human suffering in order to understand it and to have compassion for it. You've taken on these issues as a grand master angel in order to completely familiarize yourself with it so that you could assist in this whole process of consciousness evolution. But it's not yours. How do you let go of it? You heard it once, you heard it twice, you heard it 4 times in the last few days. Make a choice right now. You're not serving anyone else, your loved ones, your enemies, humanity, the dolphins, the trees, or anything else by holding on to it any longer. You chose it before. You can unchoose it now. Let me repeat that. You chose in service and in love to take on these issues of humanity, to help others work through them. You chose it. You chose it as your service, as your passion. And now you can unchoose it. All of it. Not just a little of it. Not just enough of it, but all of it. You can let it go right now, because you are no longer serving humanity in that role or in that capacity. You are not serving your angelic family by taking on their issues. You are not serving God by taking on the difficulties of humanity anymore. Enough is enough. You are being called on as the leaders of the new energy to be clear and to do it the easy way. Let it go. It is not yours. Now you're resisting me. I'm trying to pull it away from you, and you're trying to pull it back. And who's going to win this battle? I. Shambhar, you took it on when you didn't need to, but you took it on in service to others. You're like the one who went into the deepest, darkest inferno energy to help rescue someone. You've done a marvelous job, a grand job. You all get A+ for taking on the woes of humanity right on your shoulders. But don't you remember, you graduated. You graduated. You don't need to keep holding on to it. You need to be clear. You need to be leaders. You need to let go of things like confusion and doubt and hypnosis. You need to let go of disease. They are not yours. Let them go right now in this room. Let that energy be gone. Truly, you are not helping anyone anymore by holding on to it. You want to be an inspirer of consciousness? You want to be the caterpillar who transformed into a butterfly? Do it now. You don't have to carry around a pocket full of disease and a pocket full of problems in order to do service to all that is. The greatest thing that you can do now in the new energy is the I. Put yourself, your pure God self, in consciousness presence right now. That will change the world. That will help someone else, or maybe you, create a new energy source. That will help the doctor discover the cure for cancer. That will help the musician understand how to weave new energy to the songs that will create healing for people using it for themselves. That will help some of what we would call the old energy demons on this earth, demons of group consciousness, be released from the traps they are in. It is about being in your I self right now. Perhaps it sounds a bit selfish. Perhaps it sounds like you are off on your own island somewhere, but take a deep breath and feel the love and compassion of I. I creates a new physics. The I self creates healing energy. The I self inspires other humans to continue forward with their journeys. The I self allows change and transformation to take place across the earth and in all of the angelic realms. When you become I, that changes everything. When you let go of having to take on the burdens of your families, of your companies, of your countries, and all of the other things, and allow yourself to be I, Yoham, in this moment, that will allow the new energy to radiate all across the world. It will make it so that the change doesn't have to be so difficult, that it can be smoother and easier. It will create a consciousness reverberation across the world that will inspire researchers and scientists and artists and others. I make the difference. I am that I am. This is a profound moment for each and every one of individual yous. This is the moment of Yoham. I am God. I am here. I am whole and complete. I can make a choice. Watch and feel the effect of this on earth. It will be your joy. It will be your passion. It will be the thing that you can share with other Shambra all across the world. What started here and is now spread and is spreading at this very moment somewhere in the world. A new song has been written. Somewhere in the world right now, someone who's had depression for years has just woke up to a new morning and is wondering why that old dark sadness isn't there this morning. Is it just hiding for a few brief hours? Will it be back? Or will their depression be lifted because a sparkle of new energy has entered into their life? As an old person sitting in their wheelchair somewhere in the world right now, come to the moment where they realize they can let go. Their fear of dying has been released, and now they can make the journey to the other side. Somewhere in the world right now, a new invention has just been created. It has been birthed. And in the years to come, it will come forward into this world as a type of device that eventually reduces this thing, perhaps eliminates this thing that you call sweat labor. Somewhere in the world right now, in the collective consciousness of humanity, these sparkles of new consciousness have gone in, and the disease that has been very prevalent, very difficult, has just reversed itself and will go out of existence in the next few years. Somewhere in the world right now, there's a doctor who has been working on this issue of AIDS, who has just been inspired to look in a new place where this doctor will find the answer to what causes AIDS in the first place. And then through that inspiration, other doctors will pick up and continue to do more research until the cure for AIDS is found in your lifetime. Somewhere in the world right now, in a mental institution, somebody who has been trapped in their own prison in their mind, who has been tormented by the darkest of the dark, has just seen a light. And as they follow that light out of the darkness of their own existence, they will enter into something that they have not known for hundreds of lifetimes. Something called joy. Something called self-love. And Chambra, somewhere right now, I don't know where, somewhere, the original energy of I am, God, Spirit, and all that was, is celebrating right now. I am that I am.